Welcome to this week's WWE Raw Recap show brought to you by RP2 Division. Now here is your host, Ronald Ray.
Hello, ma'ams and sirs, and welcome to the first Raw Recap of 2023. I'm Ron Ray, your boy with a cornbread accent. Of course, before we start, if you like what you hear, feel free to subscribe. Now that crap's out of the way, let's get started. And we start off with the Bloodline beating the crap out of everybody. The Bloodline members, Jay, Jimmy, Uso, Solo Sikoa, and Sami Zayn attack everybody, attack the stagehand, wreck the commentary table, and they got on the mic and said, "Hey, we're running this show." Now, cue the Kevin Owens music. Sami Zayn tell Kevin Owens not to say a thing, and people are going to get hurt because of Kevin Owens. Owens responds by saying he did have something to say, but wants to punch Sami Zayn in the face anyway. As Owens was walking to the ring, Adam Pearce stops him. He says he let the Bloodline do this for too long. Then proceeds to send his security to the ring to get beat up by Solo Sikoa. Kevin Owens says, "Hey, what the heck?" He runs to the ring to let the four Bloodline members beat him up until the whole locker room comes out to help him. Pearce says all the Bloodline members will have single matches tonight. Now we got a backstage interview with Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, saying she lost all respect for Alexa Bliss. And after tonight, she doesn't want to hear her name. Also, she said Bliss shouldn't blame Bray Wyatt. She is her own woman. Okay, after this, we have some more backstage crap with everybody wanting to get a piece of the Bloodline. Elias, he says, who wants to fight Solo, so Pearce signs a Music City street fight, because they're in Nashville, Tennessee, between the two. Also, Sami Zayn, Jimmy, and Jey Uso will go up against the Street Profits. And hey, I thought we were going to have all single matches for everybody. We got one single match and a six-man tag. Now we finally get started here. Have our first match here, and it's for the Raw Women's Championship. The champion, Bianca Belair, defending against Alexa Bliss. The champion, Belair, drops Bliss with a right hand. Bliss charges, but Belair holds her back, then drops her again. Bliss hits a forearm and a drop kick. Belair out of the ring. Belair counters with a baseball slide. Belair counters a baseball slide. Some more back and forth. When the commercial break is over, the challenger finally gets in control after sending Belair shoulder first into the corner post. Bianca would come back after countering a DDT with a vertical suplex. Belair was going for another move when Bliss posed in an awkward position, but she hits a handspring moonsault anyway. More heat on a champion after missing a charge. That sends her out of the ring. The ending came when Bliss was on the apron pulling on Bianca's braids, yelling that the championship belongs to her. She stops when she sees somebody with an Uncle Howdy mask standing behind her. He says he's part of the show when security comes to him. Bliss starts up at the top and sees another Uncle Howdy. She looks scared, and the Titantron flashes a few times, I guess, which triggers the effect. Then Alexa Bliss went crazy, attacks the referee. Referee stops the match, and the winner of the match by DQ and still champion, Bianca Belair. And oh no, Alexa Bliss is still acting loco. She attacks Bianca Belair, hits her with a couple of DDTs on the steps. Next match is a Music City street fight between Elias and Solo Sikoa. No locking up here, just some throwing of the hands to start it off. Solo gets a heat on Elias with some chops, chokes, punches, and kicks. It all seemed to go Solo's way until Elias would nail Sikoa with a cowbell. Elias would keep going with the advantage, hitting Solo with all kinds of weapons. Don't know who a Hardy is. Is he Jeff? Is he Matt? Is he the crazy cousin Larry? I don't know. But he acted like he was going to give Elias the guitar to hit on Solo Sikoa, but decides to use it for himself. Elias attempts to hit Solo with pieces of a guitar, but is met with a Samoan spike. Spilling Solo onto a baby grand would seal the fate of Elias, and your winner of this was Solo Sikoa. Now, who would complain really about a six-man tag featuring the Usos and Sami Zayn going against the Street Profits and Kevin Owens? We don't need that. Need to be in all singles matches. That's boring. Anyway, starts off like a good match, and this is perfect way to start it out. Hey, they're pissed. They're pissed at the bloodline. Let them just run out and start beating the hell out of each other, and that's what they did. Angelo Dawkins will be punching on Jimmy Uso as the match starts. Quick tags in and out for the Profits. Usos will get a comeback and put the little heat on Angelo Dawkins. Dawkins will get out of the way though and tag in Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes in like a house on fire. Senton splashes on Jay before nailing Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn. A crotch chop and telling Sami Zayn he's a bitch just puts a little icing on the cake. Owens looking to tag forward, but Ford seems to be in deep thought, I guess, about his wife. Jay takes advantage, and now we have heat on Kevin Owens. Of course, we all got to get them super kicks in. Then Owens finally smack tags Montez Ford. He comes in, cleaning house. Ford hits a frog splash on Sami Zayn, but the pin is broken up by Jay. Dawkins gets Jay out of the ring. Ford sends Jimmy out. Somersault senton by Ford on Jimmy and Sami Zayn. Solo Sikoa comes out and knocks out Angelo Dawkins with a Samoan spike. Owens will go chase after Solo. Ford throws Zayn back in the ring, knocks Jimmy off the apron, but eats a hell of a kick for his efforts. Usos and Sami Zayn will wind up picking up the win. Oh, but there's more. The Usos and Sami Zayn with Sikoa will continue to beat down Kevin Owens until Sheamus and Drew McIntyre from the Blue brand makes a save. Next up, we have Dexter Lumis against Chad Gable. Gable, being a good little chicken shit heel, tries to avoid him. Heck, Lumis even scared Otis a little bit. A hot shot by Gable. He will get some offense in. Lumis will get a comeback when he throws Gable out from an overhead wrist lock. Hits a bulldog after Gable skins the cat. Gable will knock Lumis out of the ring, but Lumis would avoid a Otis attack, gets back in the ring, rolls up Gable for the W. Okay, it's getting a little too late in the show to care about any kind of promo segments. Anyway, so we get a 2-versus-1 match with Io Sky and Dakota Kai, Damage Control, facing Becky Lynch. Sorry, I forgot to mention, Damage Control are the women's tag team champions. Really, I just don't care for these 201 things. It's one thing to have a handicap match when you have like a real big, Big Show or Andre the Giant person against a couple of nobodies. But these little 2-on-1 things, especially it worked in the '90s, of course, when you had the Authority against or Vince McMahon against Steve Austin. You just throw two guys against him to uh, draw some heat and use that abuse of power because you're against Steve Austin. But this really didn't make any sense, and it never will. But we get the usual stuff here. Becky comes in and holds her own until the number games takes effect. But we get the Kai and Sky gets heat on our hero Becky Lynch. And wait, why is Mia Yim getting on the apron and reaching for a tag? Who cares? She gets a tag. Now I guess it's all of a sudden a full tag match. And of course, stretch this out a little bit further. We start getting a little heat on Mia Yim until Mia Yim gets the hot tag to Becky Lynch. Lynch comes in, gets her shit in, tag back into Yim. Mia goes for the victory, but Bailey puts Kai's foot on the rope. Becky fights with Bailey. Yim eats the pin after an Io Sky moonsault. We have a cringe-worthy Dominic Mysterio playing convict now. Um, okay. Now it's time for your main event for the United States Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Austin Theory, versus Seth freaking Rollins. It starts off with Rollins outsmarting and out wrestling Theory. Then Theory will get the advantage by snapping Rollins off the top rope, hitting him with a Rolling Thunder dropkick. Now Theory is in firm control of the match, cutting off Rollins with every comeback attempt. Very well paced this match. Rollins would slowly make a full comeback, hits a suicide dive as he gets the crowd to sing along with his music. Seriously, you should find a young looking couple white meat baby faces and have them go license the what was that New Kids on the Block song? Hang It Tough or something like that. The one that goes, oh, 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 oh. I swear to God, they'll be the biggest baby face in the WWE. Just because their song will go, oh, 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 and the crowd will go, oh, 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 oh. Still doesn't beat Chris Jericho and the crowd singing Judas. Anyway, off that soapbox, now it's Rollins in control and countering with it every near fall. Theory would counter a Falcon Arrow with a over the knee neck breaker for a near fall. Now we do see Seth Rollins clutching on his knee after an enziguri, but he fights on to the point where Theory just wants to grab his ball and go home. But Rollins cuts him off, gets him back in the ring. Rollins hits a super kick and a frog splash for another near fall. Thought he had it. Now we get a ref bump. The backflip reversal from a belly to back suplex seems to aggravate Seth's knee a little more, but he is able to hit the pedigree. A new ref runs into the ring and gets a 2 count. Rollins will then go for a curb stomp, but Theory counters. Almost bumps into referee again, or the referee number 2. This will enable Theory to hit the chop block on Rollins, and then the A-Town down. Your winner and still United States champion, Austin Theory. This is probably an average show at best. The Raw Women's title match was a bit sluggish. Seen them both have better performances in other matches, but they seem to be continuing the repossession of Alexa Bliss. Well, this match is giving heretic vibes. Now the 2-on-1 women's match angle was poorly planned, I think. If they just had a 2-on-1 match, it wouldn't have hurt Becky Lynch whatsoever to lose against the tag champs by herself. Or could it just ended up in a disqualification? But then we had this all of a sudden, it's a tag out of nowhere. It just screams they didn't want to beat Becky or the tag champ, so they inserted Mia Yim just to eat the pin. I just think the whole angle could have been made shorter. A quick little backstage segment with Mia volunteer to be Becky's partner. But oh well. But now would be a good time. Speaking of things done poorly, I don't think it's done poorly. It just would be a good time now to send Dominique Mysterio down to the Performance Center for 6 months. Do this. Hey, he's in jail. Send him down about 6 months to the Performance Center. Work on himself cosmetically, meaning, tone up a little bit, maybe get a little rip. Be fluffy if you can, but you know how genetics can be. But they got the best, or some of the best, weight training people down there, personal trainers down there, and dietitians. Now's the time to take good advantage of that. And let them work on some of this in-ring work a little bit. Wouldn't hurt. I mean, I'm not saying this guy's like the George Goulas of wrestling or anything like that, but I'd almost compare him to Greg Gagne. Nothing too much wrong with his in-ring work, but he just never did anything for himself cosmetically. And it seems like Dominique is learning to, talk a little bit way better than Greg Gagne, of course. But he just kind of needs to fit the part, Speaking of which, did I miss the Judgment Day, or since they had the Usos causing havoc, they didn't need a Judgment Day? Did I doze off in it or blink and miss the Judgment Day? The Elias Soko Music City match, it was fun. It was basically just a street fight type deal, but they were using musical instruments. That was kind of a cool little concept. I thought the 6-man tag was really good. I mean, a lot of talent in that match. Makes me wonder though if this will be the start of the Street Profit breakup. Have Montez Ford start losing focus until it pisses off Angelo Dawkins, and then they, go on the barbershop segment, and Angelo Dawkins super kicks Montez Ford through the barbershop window. That could work, right? Anyway, from what I read, it looks like Seth Rollins might legitimately hurt his knee a little bit. So hopefully, it was cool because he continued to match like a pro, but hopefully, let's hope for a speedy recovery for him. We already got AJ hurt. I don't know if he might wind up missing WrestleMania altogether. Anyway, that does it for this week's Raw Recap. You folks take it easy and have a good one.
We here at RP Tube Vision would like to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also check out friends of the show Ecolife Natural for home-crafted candles, hand cloth, and other home and personal goods. Look them up on Facebook. Link will be available below the video. That is Ecolife Natural.